I realized I have never finished out the two-post lift story. I had it to where I had it pretty much assembled, the holes drilled for the anchor the towers, and then this thing I'm talking about is the four-post lift. I never got through the assembly of this one, so I thought I better do that. Once I got the towers anchored, level, shimmed, everything else to make them right, then hooking up the cables. Hooking the cables, I think the last video I did, I talked about how I couldn't get to the pulley at the bottom of each post to get the cable loop around because the carriages were in the way. The carriage is the parts that move. I ended up putting a high lift tractor jack over here, pick up an inch, put a car jack in the middle of that one, because right smack in the middle is the center of gravity for this entire drive-on part. Picked it up a couple foot or so, actually until I got to the locks. The locks for this activated, and pulled the jack out, ran the cables, and then I had to add power. So let me make sure you can see all this. I'll move in a little bit. I'm going to talk about the hidden cost of a lift, but this thing, again, with the forward, the headrest and the lance on the sticker, I'm not sure how old this thing is. This is a 2-wire 220, 2 wires, that's it. The little schematic on the side of it is 2 wires, that's all there is. So hooked that up. I actually just ran a spool of 220 of wire I had for home construction. I just ran it, hot wired it, plugged it in, hit the button, and it worked. Had to have fluid. Needed fluid. Once I got fluid, and the thing worked. So then I went to adjusting the cables, and everything worked. So this lift, this one, you get up here and set down. Of course, with any lift, you always go past the lock and go back down to a lock. So my locks are mechanical wires you gotta pull. So like right now, it's sitting on it, and if I get way over here, I can make it move. But the movement is not. I have rechecked the torque on the bolts that's the first time going up and down a few times, and then I've checked it once a week since I got it all together, and it's not losing. They're solid. But this thing moving, this black thing moving on this is where my movement is. I've put some shims in there, and it might just be all the pieces together, the slop, but it works good. Now here's the really cool thing. If I go up, pull it up, put the lock to go back down again. And yes, I have to walk around, which I actually kind of like. One, it gives me a chance to look and make sure nothing's underneath the lift. One of those lift safety things. Remember, once you got the locks pulled, never put yourself underneath anything that's suspended. And it goes on down just fine. But here's the cool part. If I go back up, it just, you hear it? It locks itself. Okay. You see I got the blue tape and the blue tape? I actually went too far. But let me put on there, it's on a pin. The alignment part of this lift, let me get it to where you can see what I'm doing. The alignment part of this lift needs these legs. They go down. Let me do that at 3. And This one's kind of bent a little bit. I gotta convince it to go down. Whoops. Yeah, that's kind of visible. I go back up just a hair, pull the locks. Yes, there's a good bit of walking around. Oh, I like the mechanical locks because one, I can check for everything, especially with these legs. I need to do a second walk around. Then you put it on down, nice and gentle-like, onto those. Now, the entire thing is sitting on these legs, and it is level. I've adjusted them to my floor. It is level. I don't have the air hooked up right here, but now I got my wheels free jacks. I am ready to go. And it goes out. Well, I gotta go up to get past this, but they'll go out to about here. And let me just sit myself down and talk about it. So this thing works great for what I wanted, which was be able to park a car on it if I'm not using it. If I'm using it with that 4-post, put the cars I normally keep inside over here, and I have access to this. I can pick up all 4 wheels off the lift if I want to very easily and do alignments, do work. I have not had the Cowdog or the 715 up here yet. It just hasn't worked out time-wise. I will. I had the Porsche up here, I had the Miata up here. I'm messing with the alignment on it, trying to fine-tune the alignment just right. And I'm gonna work on the Subaru next because I still gotta do some alignment, little tweaks on that. I couldn't really do good on the ground. Now with this, I can do it up here. Okay, so the lift works. I've had no troubles with it, just figuring things out. Then we got the hidden cost of a lift. So, hidden cost. Wiring. I did not figure in, thankfully I had a good bit of wire sitting around, wiring for the 220, which I ran. I plugged it into it right behind where the camera's sitting. I had a washer and dryer. When we first built this, I put a washer and dryer here because my wife didn't want my dirty things in the inside washer and dryer. After 15, 20 years, those things broke because they were used ones when we put them out here. They finally stopped working, and I ended up needing the space for a parts cleaner and a toolbox. So I had an empty 220 plug. I just had to buy an end for that. Hydraulic fluid. I had to buy special hydraulic fluid. I just looked up what Forward says the new ones use. And that seems to be another one of those, which way do I go? Dextron 3, automatic transmission fluid, is like universal for lifts if they're dry. If they've had something in there, you don't mix it with whatever fluid it is. Let me see what I got. And I'm getting it from Amazon. That's right. I couldn't remember the name of it. ISO 32. The AW means anti-wear. And you go to Tractor Supply or any other place that sells these kind of things, there's about 30 different blends of hydraulic fluid. But ISO 32, that's what I end up getting. Took 2 gallons. That's what's left in my second gallon. There's about that much left in there. And I haven't leaked anything since. I thought for sure I'd have leaks, but once I tightened everything down and ran it a few times, I've been good on leaks. Okay, hidden cost, the wiring for that. Then I wanted to have air. The two-post part makes it so I'm not sure how to have permanent air to my wheels free jacks and they can still slide. I have not figured out how to do that yet without having something I'm stepping on or tripping over. So I moved my air reel that used to be above where the Mini is. Used to be on the truss between the 4-foot shop lights up in the ceiling, you can see on the top left. I moved my air reel over to the tower and I drilled and tapped holes above where the carriage goes. So it's above anywhere the lift might hit the bolts, and put that there. Then I had you can't see it in the rafters, in the trusses, runners. I ran the air so it's plumbed in. So I now have the reel I can reach up and grab to bring over to my wheels free lifts or any air tools I might use. And I also put a 2-plug 110 outlet on the side of the lift, side of the tower. That way I got power for my lights and the lights next door and run the other lift. Hidden cost stuff. Hydraulic fluid, wire, plugs, boxes, outlets, all that stuff. They didn't think about it. Then I got the lights. I already done a video about the lights, and that was money I was not even thinking about. I was like, yes, this is an affordable lift. It for sure is. Oh, this lift, the 4-post, I narrowed it down. I'm pretty sure it's a Titan. Based on the way the covers for the cables in the corner of the crossbars go, and the way the locks, the socket where the locking pins are, pretty sure it's a Titan lift. 7,000 or 8,000 pound, I think. There's still no markings on it anywhere. So let's see. Hydraulic fluid, wiring, outlets, air, lights, and I guess I took it up and down, full up, full down, 3, 4, maybe 5 times, and then I set it back down. I adjust the cables. You're supposed to, according to the 2004 manual I have for forward DP10, supposed to be able to get the cables to touch each other at their furthest point from any other cables or pulleys, about 15 foot-pounds of pressure to get them to touch. I just took it to where they're clicking even, and they don't want to touch each other. They're not flopping around. So there's probably a quarter turn here or a quarter turn there kind of thing, but the lift is very stable, very quiet, functions good. So I put the blue tape over there to, oh yeah, pads, these little foam pieces. So I can put the Miata or the Porsche or anything else up here, open the door without going clunk, there goes a bunch of paint off the vehicle. Not worry about paint on the lift. Excuse me. I will put links to all this stuff in my description because I'm a member of the Amazon affiliate program. I put the link in, you look at it, you buy something, you pay the same price. I get a very small percentage. And if you buy something, thank you. But the lights, the foam pads, the oil, the wiring, the plugs, the other plug, the outlet, I'll put links to all this stuff in there. But you get the idea. There's more to installing a lift than just buying the lift. And I think I'm going to have to rebuild these slide plates because there's little plastic balls in there, and I've been getting pieces of them coming out when I pull the pins and let it run around. Turning angle gauge alignments. We learned that in a couple videos ago. Those are good. I don't think there's any trouble with those. But these slip plates, there's a little bit of deterioration going on for being 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. So I think that's it for the lift. And if there's something else, I'll come back with. But yeah, there's hidden cost in a lift. And this one thankfully worked good. I was worried about either the hydraulic rams leaking like crazy or the motor not working or that pump being bad. But so far everything's been good and I get no leaks. There's no oil on the ground that I didn't put there to lubricate things or whatever. So now it's just time to get busy working on things. Oops, there's the trouble with the magnets. I just touched it a little bit and it fell down. Put it back up. There. That's for the light. I need more magnets on there, I think. Means I gotta get more little clips. But thank you for watching.